Peace and love, everybody. This is AI News with Erik, and today is August the 8th, 2024. My birthday. Yep. Of course, yeah, I got to be working. I'm a hustler. I got to stay hustling, man. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, I'll probably do a little something, hang out, have some. Right now, we talking about balancing innovation and strength, navigating Gen Z challenges in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Gen Z seems to be having some issues in the workplace, or maybe they don't have no issues. So right now, y'all, as you can see behind me, we got Team Square shirt on the wall. We representing all day for our brother. Once again, we talking about navigating challenges in the workplace. So I want to show you all this chart right here first, and just give you a little something on what we talking about with this. Right now, this is just statistics on fired recent college graduates. As you can see, they're a little less than 50% get offended easily, close to 60%, consider entitled over 60%, frequently late 60%. That's crazy. Refuse to turn on camera for you work from a home remote. Inappropriate dress, 50%, ask for unreasonable salaries, 50%, struggle with eye contact, 50%. Now, come on, we all know you got to have your eye contact got to be on point. Bring parents to interviews. I ain't never heard of that before. So that's some new shit. Hire overqualified candidates. I don't know what they mean by that, but that's 40 something percent. Offer remote hybrid positions to older employees. So because of this, they looking back now at older employees. Maybe I'll get a job. you know, prefer older candidates once again. So let me close that. Remove from stage. I throw it back up there, but I want to exit this full screen. So once again, man, we talking about Gen Z in the workplace, and recent survey findings highlight significant challenges faced by Gen Z graduates in job interviews, sparking a debate about the future of the workforce in the USA. Some argue that adapting to these challenges might weaken the country's competitive edge, which I kind of agree with, especially when compared to nations that maintain traditional workplace expectations. Because right now, man, we ain't fake. We're not just we can't just be worried about the US. We got to be worried about all the other countries, particularly because of AI and how they moving. And we got to be the best, man. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, this raises important questions about how to balance innovation with maintaining strength in the global market. So these are some of the key findings that we found as far as, with Gen Z entitlement and expectations. Over 60% of respondents felt that Gen Z candidates displayed a sense of entitlement, which might be seen as confidence to them. You know what I'm saying? Their expectations in the workplace is different as far as their alignment with their values is different than the traditional persons, how they look and see themselves moving in the workplace. The Gen Z is different. Communication barriers, struggle with eye contact, and a reluctance to turn on cameras during virtual interviews were notable issues, potentially reflecting discomfort with traditional norms and I guess the nuances of remote communication, which to me, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like, they don't want to cut for me. I don't know if I might be wrong, but if I'm the boss and you don't want to cut your camera on and we all doing a Zoom or something like that, work on, I might have to reconsider you working with the team. That might not work for me. You know what I'm saying? So dress code and professionalism. Reports of inappropriate dress suggest a disconnect between Gen Z's understanding of professional attire and, once again, traditional expectations, possibly influenced by the casual culture seen in tech startups, which I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm cool with that. I was cool with that when I was young. You ain't got to be no nerd coming to work to me and everybody looking the same and dressing the same. As long as you be respectful. You know what I'm saying? So now this one, this one here, I ain't never heard of this one. Parental involvement. The phenomenon of bringing parents to interviews indicates a shift in family dynamics and increased parental involvement in career decisions. That's definitely a stark contrast to previous generations because we ain't never did that. Bring our papa to a job interview. Wow. Now, I'm not gonna say this is bad. Salary expectations. It ain't my job to argue about whoever want to argue about what they worth. But they say Gen Z's tendency to ask for high salaries might be a reflection of their awareness of economic challenges and a demand for fair compensation, challenging existing salary structures, which, yo, if that's what it is, that's what it is. If Gen Z can come and change the salary structures, because if you really do the math on how the cost of living, the rent, and what you get paid, it don't add up. All you're gonna do is go into the red. You know what I'm saying? So, but because of this, employers do have preferences now. So a preference for older candidates and the provision of more benefits to them indicate a perception of stability and experience valued by employers. So Gen Z got to pay attention to that because they're like, you know what, man, I'll just go back to hiring some older people who is going to do the job and we ain't got to be worrying about them being late and, all this other stuff. So the potential impact for me is on national competitiveness, global competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? This is a concern that accommodating Gen Z's demands could lead to a weakened competitive stance for the USA. Countries that maintain stricter adherence to traditional work norms may appear more resilient and disciplined. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is essential to recognize that innovation often stems from adapting to change and leveraging new strengths. So, I might not be right. Maybe it might not matter as long as the job gets done. But, I know the role of phones and social media got so much to do with that. And right now, they're actually controlling people's minds, their brains, how they think. And, when you got companies doing that, they're not really concerned about your future. They're concerned about profit. So we know phones and social media have undeniably influenced Gen Z's behavior and expectations. Constant connectivity and the ability to create one's digital presence may contribute to the challenges noted in this survey. Communication. Gen Z's comfort with the digital communication over face-to-face interactions might explain the struggles with eye contact and virtual meetings as far as etiquette goes. For me, I still got a problem with if you can't look a person in their eyes. Like, I can't trust you. If I can't look you in your eyes and talk to you and have a conversation when you ain't looking me in my eyes, I don't know. I guess I'm old school. I'm gonna be like, that's suspect to me. So if you come and telling me you late and your mama got hit by a bus and you can't look me in the eye and say it, I might not go for that. You know what I'm saying? So another thing is their expectations. Exposure to influences and online success stories could fuel high salary expectations and a sense of entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Because they see all these people getting paid. I guess they like, yeah, I want to get paid too. Now, I don't know if those are realistic expectations, but listen, if you got your expectations, have your expectations. I just want y'all to know what we're dealing with when it comes to Gen Z. And it's going to get worse because when you see these little babies in those strollers with those phones, understand they coming up. And these ain't even the ones. Let's talk about the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The ones really coming next. 12, 13, 14, 15. These phones are brainwashing them, man, taking control of everything. They're not going to have cognitive abilities. They're not going to have thinking ability. They're not going to know how to deal with people on the emotional level. They're not going to know how to deal with conflict in real life, So, oh, man, we got to wake up with these phones, man, and have some balance. You know what I'm saying? So professionalism is, the casual nature of social media could blur lines between personal and professional attire, influencing perception of what is deemed appropriate. I mean, we all know what's appropriate. Like I said, we ain't got to come dressed like nerds. You ain't got to wear a suit if you don't want, but just don't come dirty and bummy and stinking and thinking that that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So for me as an AI consultant, I believe the key lies in finding a balance. The USA can maintain its strength and competitiveness by definitely leveraging technology. You know, AI Erik is always talking about AI. So using AI and other technologies to modernize recruitment processes, of course, ensuring they are inclusive and fair without compromising on quality. Once again, without compromising on quality. We got to make sure we can't cave in to Gen Z because they want to do what they want to do and roll how they want to roll. And then the quality of what we delivering is garbage. You know what I'm saying? So we got to set clear expectations, you know, establishing clear guidelines for professional behavior and communication, while also educating Gen Z on traditional norms and the importance of that in the global market. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to break it down to them. We just can't kick them to the curb, but we got to break it down to them. Yo, this is what we dealing with. And this is how you grew up in the last 8 years, you know, basically living on your phone, social media, playing games, and now you in the real world. You know, I had to break that down to my son because he starts his job on the 12th, cybersecurity, you know, so fostering innovation, encouraging a culture that values innovation and adaptability, recognizing that Gen Z's digital proficiency can be a significant asset if harnessed correctly. And that's why I said we got to talk to them. We got to let them know, man, like you hold the key to this thing, man. Like we need you, you know. So global perspective, that's what we talking about, you know. So us keeping an eye on global trends, learning from other countries, approaches to integrating youth into the workforce without compromising on discipline and standards. You know what I'm saying? We got to embrace all of the strategies. We got to embrace what Gen Z brings. We got to embrace the traditional methods of how we used to do things, you know. So we got to embrace all these strategies. The US can turn perceived weaknesses, of course, into strengths, ensuring that the workforce remains robust and competitive. And of course, ever evolving digital landscape as far as the global market go, because we ain't competing just in the United States no more with businesses. The United States is competing with every other country that's about to explode using AI. And once again, I feel like these phones are a problem, particularly for the kids in strollers, all the way up to me to the age of 11, 12, 13. Because once they 14, 15, you know, they're going, you know, maybe that's when you can let it loose on them, but not loose like that. But because break it down to them why they're young and why they can't have the phone or why it has to be very limited. Because phones are parents now. Phones are like the parents. The parents don't want to do no more parent. They just give them the phone. You know what I'm saying? Give them a tablet. It's crazy. And they ain't got no block games on these phones and tablets that they're actually giving to the kids. They letting them scroll through regular stuff. Yeah, some of them might be watching little cartoons and stuff to keep them entertained, but give them some block games. Give them some games that make their brain stimulated. So, yo, once again, man, we talking about Gen Z, man. You know, this is AI News with AI Erik. For more information on AI News, go to youtube.com/at AI Erik. That's Erik with a K, or AIerik.com. Peace and love.
AI News with AI